Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. Thank you so much for joining me here, especially if you're listening on the day the show debuts, which is Saturday. Appreciate you taking the time out of your weekend to check out the show. Looking forward to answering 6 of our community's questions today. Opening up the Big Pages document right now. I'm a Mac guy, so there's no Microsoft programs on here. And that is actually sometimes a good time looking at compatibility as we start to add these things in and save them. But all jokes aside, we are getting into our house calls this weekend. If you're new to the show, every Saturday and every Sunday, I answer 6 each day of our community's questions. They are all written in to StephenCabral.com/Ask Cabral. These coming in today are actually from December 14th, and that means we are about 5 to 6 weeks behind, which again is pretty normal for us. I give you the date just simply to let you know that if you asked your question before December 14th, it has already been answered on a previous Cabral House Call, and you can find that at StephenCabral.com/podcast. All right, let's dive into today's show. First question, got the document open, is from Diana. Diana says, hello, I'm a Pitta Vata. There is no female celebrity photo as an example. I'm 65, and I'm trying to lose the last 30 pounds. I usually follow low carb, meat, due to having gluten intolerance and grain intolerance. I have difficulty trying to fast. Do you recommend a specific diet? Thanks. Okay. Happy to help with this. Just want you to know, and I'm always very honest, that it would be impossible to tell you what the perfect diet is for you unless we figure out what the issue is with your overall digestion and intolerances and for your body. So, you want to lose 30 pounds, totally understand that. Here's the thing, I do want to help. So I'm going to give you the best way to do it, and then I'm going to give you a second best way to do it. Like, I don't think either one are bad, but the best way to do it is to find out what your imbalances are. That's the bottom line. So remember, a healthy body is going to be able to tap into body fat, lose weight, as long as you're not overeating and you're not under moving your body. And I think that for the most part, people know that, and I really think that they are not doing things that are that bad. So here's what I want to share with you. If you run the Big 5 Labs or the starter kit, ideally the Big 5 Labs, and if not the starter kit, and then if you can only run one, I mean, you could look at hormones, I guess, as well, but I have a feeling there's some digestive issues going on here. So I would love for you to run the Candida Metabolic and Vitamins test, which is part of the starter kit and part of the Big 5. So that's what I would do. Then that's going to come with an actual plan and your results, of course. So that's what I'd recommend. Now, if you can't, okay, I would recommend the 21-day functional medicine detox. And if you can't do the first 2 days of liquid fasting, start with days 3 through 7 meal plan, and you'll just do that for your 21 days. Then after that, you will transition to the Fatlocity system to lose any weight you still have to lose. So that's what I would do if you didn't want a customized plan. And that's what we use very successfully all around the world. You can find the labs at StephenCabral.com/labs. And you can find the functional medicine detox. You can just type in detox at StephenCabral.com/shop. You'll also find Fatlocity there as well. And that's a whole weight loss system. It comes with a course. I think it's very, very helpful. Okay, Andrea is up next. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you, Andrea. I am. My question is about Maltodextrin. There are great functional medicine brands out there, but I've noticed that sometimes supplements contain Maltodextrin when using an extract of something. Ginger root extract. What are your thoughts of Maltodextrin in these situations? All right, it's a great question. I can tell you exactly why they're doing it for many different brands. So let me see if I can find you an example. You know what? I'm not going to call out, I never do that. I never call out brands if I'm ever going to kind of say anything negative. But I want you to know that Maltodextrin can be used, like, let's say for ginger extract, okay? So you want the ginger to be layered properly when you're making this extract in something. So there's typically some type of a powder that's mixed with that extract in order for every single capsule to be the exact right amount. Okay, so that's why they do it. So because there can be clumping, there can be unevenness. So if you want the exact dosage, which functional medicine wants, they're typically going to mix it with something. Now, maltodextrin comes from either rice or corn or wheat or potato starch, and some of that potato starch is actually genetically modified, so that's not ideal. So maltodextrin is also used in the bodybuilding world as a carbohydrate that's easy to digest to put on more like mass, muscle. So here's the thing. We don't use maltodextrin in our practice. Instead, what we use is a leucine or vitamin C or sometimes a rice-based extract that allows for that same even dosing. Okay, this is kind of pulling back the curtain on formulation. If a company uses maltodextrin, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's kind of like seeing natural flavors. You just have to ask them, where does the maltodextrin come from? And if it's from rice, I don't have an issue with that. Unless you have, again, we're talking about like a grain of rice. I mean, if you have issues eating a grain of rice, that's a different story. Like that's a different story. But if they tell you it comes from potato starch or corn, you want to make sure those are not genetically modified. And if it comes from wheat, which is not ideal, then you might be dealing with a gluten-based issue. So from rice, I don't have an issue. From corn, I don't know, make sure there's no mold and make sure it's not genetically modified. Potato starch, I wouldn't have an issue with that if it was actually potatoes, okay? So hopefully that's helpful and hopefully that answers your question. Okay, Maria's up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, after 10 months of chronic hives, no other histamine symptoms, I was diagnosed with autoimmune-based hives. I did the big five, and after consulting with one of your coaches, started the CBO protocol, citrucidal drops, thyroid support, adrenal soothe, vitamin D, and omega-3s. I'm on my last month of the CBO, which is the third month, and we'll start the CBO finisher immediately after for 3 months. During this time, I've seen improvement in my hives, about 98% gone. That's incredible. In 12 weeks or in 8 weeks, that's actually really fast. So good for you, Maria. I've been able to get off all my pharmaceuticals except for one biologic injection that I still get weekly. I've been following the sensitive gut guide, but also sticking to a low histamine diet. My question is if you think I can truly heal myself of this, or I'll always have to live with this issue, and I'll just have to learn to manage it through strict lifestyle and diet like I have the last 3 months. Even though I've been doing better, I'm terrified to stray from the sensitive gut guide or low histamine diet for fear that the hives may return. I'd love to be able to enjoy a cheat meal or even have high histamine foods on the sensitive gut guide. Any thoughts or words of hope? How long did it take you to fully heal your histamine-based issues? Okay, so first of all, I love that you are 98% better in 8 weeks to 10 weeks, right? In month 3. I mean, you're just at the very beginning. And usually autoimmune issues take 4 months to 6 months minimum to stabilize, and then 6 to 12 months to fully heal. It definitely took me a year. To get, I had mastocytosis, mast cell activation syndrome. My gut was a mess. I had candida overgrowth, I had bacterial overgrowth, I had H. pylori, then I had massive Th2 imbalances. I had so much leaky gut. You haven't even started to heal and seal your gut yet. Not only is there hope for you, there's a lot of hope for you because you're already showing so much improvement. So the only thing you don't want to do is start to sway from your diet too quickly. But what you can do is begin to introduce one new food that you would like and do it once a week. And if you're feeling fine doing that once a week, then either have that food twice a week with at least 1 or 2 days in between, or introduce a new food after a week or two of that current food that you just had. Go back. I would definitely check out my podcast on the rotation diet. All right. So just go to stephencabral.com/podcast, type in rotation diet, or just ask how to find that podcast at cabralsupportgroup.com. So lots of hope. You'll get there. Stick with it. Keep fighting the good fight. You're doing amazing. Rosie's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've been loving your podcast. Honestly, there's nothing like it out there. Thank you, Rosie. That's kind of you. I hopefully, actually, before I just automatically took that as a compliment, we want to make sure it is a compliment, but thank you, Rosie. All right. So the question from Rosie is, my HRV has fallen dramatically the last 3 months. I track it with Aura. It used to be around 70, and now it has been consistently on the 30s and 40s. Mental stress has not changed, and I actually stopped working out so hard. Just sticking to 10,000 steps daily, plus some band resistance training. However, I ran an HTMA and oat, and heavy metals and yeast showed up. This was not present when I ran this a year ago after I completed the CBO. But I guess I caused myself yeast overgrowth again. Do you think this can cause the HRV to go down? Heart rate has been elevated during sleep too. Very weird. Basically, my readiness has been terrible the last 3 months. Okay, so I love HRV. I'm going to be teaching it much more in the future. Stay tuned. But let's help you. So it depends on how long you were wearing the Oura Ring. So if the Oura Ring was 70 for like a week and then it started to drop, I would say Oura Ring was just not tracking it properly, because these bio devices sometimes need 1 to 2 weeks to really get your HRV. All right, like it took my Apple Watch a week to really get down my HRV. It had my HRV like over 100, and my HRV is not 100. Okay, well, what do we do? So when your HRV drops like in half, like it has, we say there is something that is causing the body, not just stress, okay? Because an acute stressor in your body will actually increase HRV. Something that has worn your body down decreases your HRV. So that means you have less stress resistance. Well, you have less resilience to stress. That's the best way to put it. So now your body it's been a little bit stressed for a little bit of time. You're saying that you stopped working out so hard and less mental stress, okay? So working out is actually one of those things that helps your body adapt to stress. So I would say don't work out super hard, but you still want to get your exercise in there besides just 10,000 steps, and make sure that they're real workouts. Aerobic-based cardio improves HRV, so that's one. But the real thing that you had me was saying that your heart rate's been elevated at night. That is the dead giveaway that your body's under stress. So it's under stress because you got a virus. It's under stress because there might be heavy metals. There's some inflammation. There's something wearing your body down. And your health coach that consulted with you on the HTMA and the oat, I'm sure gave you the plan to help that body rebound. All right? Lewis is up next. Please, is pure mastic gum taken before meals or after meals? Okay, so the mastic gum, the one that I recommend, which is at Equilife, you can find that at stephencabral.com/shop, is taken upon waking and before bed. All right, so it's taken upon waking and before bed, just like a probiotic, because you want it on an empty stomach. All right. Brianna's up next. Last question of the day. In your heavy metal detox protocol, you use chlorella to bind the heavy metals. In a different course I am being taught that if someone has silver fillings, you want to stay away from chlorella because it will pull it out of the mouth. Have you heard of this? Would you suggest other binders if this is the case? All right, great question. That is giving chlorella more power and due than it deserves. So I understand whoever was teaching that, they just maybe wanted you to be on the extra cautious side. I've looked into this. Chlorella does not pull the nickel or aluminum or mercury out of your silver fillings, okay? It can't do that. It's literally not going to travel through your bloodstream, through the capillaries in the root of your tooth, and through the enamel of the tooth, or through the porous tooth itself, and into the filling and leach out mercury. That's just not how it works, okay? So what chlorella does do to make this a better, a more usable explanation is that the mercury and metals that are leached out of that mercury amalgam, the silver amalgam, that go into your capillaries and into your bloodstream, which really does happen, the chlorella grabs onto that for disposal out of the body. So that's how it works. So I personally would have no issues with someone using chlorella, cracked cell chlorella, if they had metal amalgams. So I've not seen any scientific research at all that shows chlorella is so strong that it can literally pull mercury out of a metal filling, like through the root canal, through the tooth, and then grab that. So I wouldn't worry about that. I honestly wouldn't. You're going to bind up, though, a lot of the metals in your body using the heavy metal detox we recommend, which contains cilantro, cracked cell chlorella, the vitamin C, and the biofilm disruptor, okay? And you can find that heavy metal detox at stephencabral.com/shop. You don't have to use the one that I recommend, but at least you'll know what we do use in our practice. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. I appreciate you, and I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care.